Is there going to be anything special about Italy, Verona?
I cannot tell you
Oh,
right
come
now.
on! A little bit of anteprima.
Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. In this episode, Stevie Kim has an in-depth interview with Dino Borri, on site in the New York City flagship Eataly Emporium, opened in 2010. Dino fills Stevie in about the history of Eataly and how retail kept them going during the pandemic.
Okay, boys and girls, ciao ragazzi. My name's Stevie Kim, and welcome to Mama Jumbo Shrimp or Italian Wine Podcast on the road edition. Today, we are in this very, very extremely noisy place, Italy, as the Americans would say, Italy, right? In where it all started, because I remember when this started with Oscar Farinetti. How many years ago was that?
The first store that we opened in Italy was 15 years ago, but this one was 2010, 12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago. So I was here actually at the opening, and I met you for the first time at the opening. So who are you? What's your name?
My name is Dino Borri. I work for Italy since ever, I say. I'm a vintage wine on the shelf, let's say that. And I opened the first store in Japan when we opened the first Italy in Japan. It was the first store abroad, Italia. And then after that, we moved to US and we opened this one in this location 12 years ago.
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
You didn't have any gray back then.
No, I was young. I was young. But after that, now we have more than 40 stores worldwide.
I know, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Just in 15 years we did that.
So where is Italy in America?
Right now we are in 6 cities in North America. New York, Boston, Chicago, Vegas, LA. And during the pandemic we opened in Dallas.
Oh my God, you opened Italy during the pandemic?
Yeah, 2 Italys during the pandemic, one here and one in London. In 2020, Dallas, March 2021, London.
Oh my God.
And this year we are opening a new one in San Jose, the capital of the Silicon Valley. We are opening the Italy Silicon Valley.
Oh, that's exciting. So listen, I know you've been here forever, but what is your role exactly?
I do the global partnership for Italy. I'm the vice president of the company.
Okay, but how many, is Italy, America different from Italy?
No, we are just one company. Of course, the operation, they are a little different. Of course, we have a US, North America branch that is independent, but not independent in the ownership or whatever, it's independent in the operation. And Europe, Italy and rest of the Europe, but we are just one company.
So is Nicola still working here?
Yeah, Nicola started to work in Torino, of course, then in Bologna, and then came here in 2010 to be the store manager of this store, and now he's the global CEO of the company.
Oh,
he's
okay.
the big boss.
So
he's my
Nicola's
boss.
the big boss?
Yes, Nicola
Holy
is
shit.
the big boss.
Oh my God. He was so young when I met him.
Yeah, we were young when you met us.
And what about Oscar?
Oscar is our founder. He's still, let's say, with us because he's always with us. He's not involved anymore in the daily operation, let's say that. But of course, he's involved in the strategic of Italy.
So Dino, tell us a little bit about what happened during the pandemic. Give me a little, a skinny recap of what happened.
During the pandemic, of course, we were hit a lot because we are not just a retailer, but we are also a restaurant. And most of our business outside Italy is a restaurant business, and of course we had to close all the restaurants, but we are a retailer, and because we are a retailer, we were able to be open every day, and was pretty complicated, but thanks God, we survive. Right now we are almost back 100%. Not yet, because of course we miss all the tourists, the international tourists, the Italian tourists. But I want to say that last year, the end of the year last year was one of our best, almost like 19.
So I saw you a lot in the beginning in Clubhouse. That was last year, actually. Tell me a little bit about your experience in Clubhouse.
You know what's happened as you know, for almost 2 years, the producer, they cannot come over in US, and usually we have our producer in the store to do the class, to do the tasting, to be involved with our customer. Because it was not possible to travel, we decided to start this live podcast, let's say, this Clubhouse, and it was very good because the producer continued to maintain a relation with us.
So listen, I want to ask you, of course, a little bit about the wine business, with Italy. So first of all, how does it work? In New York, of course, you have a wine shop which is separate from the shop, the supermarket, and the big main frame. Is it like that elsewhere?
Every state in the US are different. The rules are different. For example, in New York, a company cannot have more than one wine store and cannot be inside a grocery store. This is why it's attached, but in the store that we have downtown, we cannot sell wines. But during the pandemic, we were allowed because the state allowed the restaurant to do. And in fact, a lot of our customers were able to buy prosciutto and wine during the pandemic, but now, again, no. But in Chicago, we can do like in Italy, Chicago, LA, Vegas, Dallas, we can do like an Italian way. Italy is one of the largest purchaser of Italian wine in US. Because of course we have a retail store, but remember that we are a huge restaurant. We have more than 1,500 different labels.
So SKUs,
and we work more or less with 500-600 producers.
How do the producers get listed? How does it work?
It's not listed, of course we have our not preference, but what we work with the producer, and usually we want to continue to work with the producer that trust us when we were not famous. We started in Torino, and a lot of producers say, what is this concept, blah, blah, and we want to continue with them. And also after that, we do a lot of in and out. For example, now every month, every Friday night in this store, we do Brunello night, more than 70 Brunello by the glass, and a wine tasting. A few weeks ago we did Barbaresco, and those wines, they are in and out. You can come, and for 1 month you see all those wines, then we change, we go also through the season. Brunello is good and Barolo and Barbaresco during the winter, but during the summer we go with Rosé, maybe more in the south. This is what we like to do. There are some item SKU that you can find always, but there are also a lot of in and out. That make our customer very happy because they come, they always see something new and different. This is how we work, and we can involve more and more producers.
So I met Cole before, and he said he's part of the education program. So what is that? Tell me a little bit about. Is it something new?
No, it's since we
had the scuola, right?
Yeah, that is. You have to remember our payoff is eat, shop, learn. The teaching component for real is our most important component. Every aspect of our business there is a teaching moment. But not just in the store, in the restaurant, every sign that you see, if you see our menu, if you see our retail is different than the other one. There is always the name of the producer, a little story about from where they are coming, who is the producer. We don't do private label, for example, either in the wine, in the pasta, in the cheese, because we want to tell the story. But the school is important because in every city, in every store where we go, we have the primary location, a school where the producers are coming to teach in the morning our staff. It's important to sell a product, you need to know what are you drinking or eating. And in the morning when the producers are coming, staff training. For example, in this restaurant we did some classes for 300 people. Massimo Bottura was cooking here and we did a wine class and food over here. It depends. Usually we do 30 people because with 30 people is small and intimate enough to have an interaction with the public.
But not during like lunch or dinner, right?
Yeah, we do lunch, dinner every night in the school, not during the weekend because
Too busy.
you know what we did during the pandemic, because the class was closed, we did a virtual wine tasting for 2,000 people. We prepared the box.
Like the samples or the bottles?
No, bottles, cheese and ham. There was like a aperitivo Italian style.
So who was teaching the course?
Our wine expert, cheese expert, our chef, everybody.
That's great idea. But you're still doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just did another one that was for cheese.
So listen, so what have you seen? Like 5 things, 5 trends that you've seen in terms of wine the past couple of years? I mean, obviously the wine, like the e-commerce online,
Yeah.
right? That's pretty important.
Yeah, I think the e-commerce became a huge, I don't want to even call e-commerce, I want to call, and we call more like digital, because digital is different than the classic e-commerce. Classic e-commerce, you go online on your app and you choose stuff.
Right.
The digital is like, I know what Italy has, but I live just a few blocks and I ship from the store to
So
there.
it's more like a delivery service.
The delivery service, that is what I saw, that the people, when they want to buy the usual stuff, they use this service, like the digital delivery service. That's became huge.
What about the younger generation? Do you see that is more aware of the wine consumption or preferences, or because I mean the beer was very big and it still is, like the craft beer.
But the big, I was going to say that I think when I moved here, the beer movement was huge.
Yeah, this was like where we are now. For example, it was a birreria.
Yeah,
right?
but you know the beer is still. But you know, I think at one point beer became like a trendy, super trendy, and at one point it became less trendy. The wine became more and more like a lifestyle. Even now, it's not impossible anymore to see people at lunch drinking. When I moved here, it was very weird. I'm Italian and we drink at lunch.
Right.
But there was not a lunch with wine, because it was more like let's drink alcohol. Now they understand that a glass of wine can be part of the meal, because it's not like to get drunk or get wasted. That is a trend that I see.
So like in terms of like sales in your 2 things, in your grocery shop and also for the restaurants, in terms of percentage, how much is attributable to beer and how much to wine?
99% wine. I don't know the number in my mind.
But it's very unusual, right? I mean,
But you know, it's not unusual because we are an Italian restaurant everywhere, and the people want to drink wine. You know, when you do the research about what the people think about Italia in terms of food, they always say pizza, pasta, vino. Pasta, formaggi, vino. Vino, salumi, pasta. Wine is always that.
absolutely. So listen, you're going to open also in Verona, right?
Yes.
When is that happening?
It's going to happen this year. We don't have the date yet.
Is there going to be anything special about Italy, Verona?
I cannot tell you
Oh,
right
come
now.
on! A little bit of anteprima.
No, of course, what I think is unique is the location. Not just because it's in front of Verona Fiera and Vinital, but even because that's Ghiacciaia, that is the name, is such a unique architectural building, and that is, I think, was the most unique.
So, and will there be any additional openings besides Verona this year?
No, Verona and San Jose, we are trying to do every year. You know, we were, because of the pandemic, we slowed down a little bit, one in US and one in Europe. This year we do those 2, and we are looking for some new location in North America and in Europe as well.
Is that more of a problem now? Because, you know, of course, there is the So many people are quitting their jobs since they started remote working, and they're pivoting their careers. How has that affected the hospitality? Especially, you're running like 40, divisions in a
we
way.
are not different than a normal restaurant, a normal grocery store. We were eat a lot because the people after spend 2 years at home, they say, I don't want to have that life anymore because this business is a hard business. You work at night, you work during the weekend, you never stop. It's a hospitality business. Some people decide that was not anymore their life. That is one aspect. Another aspect, the people can travel less, and of course there was a lot of people that were moving from one country to another. We have a lot of Italian guys working here, but sometimes in our store in Italy they want to have an experience in US and we transfer them. But for 2 years the visa was almost impossible to get. Not because they don't want to give the visa, but because it was complicated. And that is another thing, you have to find people local. But locally everybody are looking for people in reopen, is a very complicated, but that is complicated everywhere in the world, in every kind of business.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, personnel is key, right?
Yeah, is a key. The company are made by people, and Italy cannot be this company without all my colleagues. We are all colleagues. We are, I think, more than 6,000 worldwide right now. Italy is made by people and by the producer.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Italian Wine Podcast. For daily interviews covering all aspects of the wine world, go to ItalianWinePodcast.com or find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Himalaya, or wherever you get your pods. Chin chin, and thanks for listening.